but I am live and StreamYard. But look if I'm well, let me check on YouTube. You are look if I am live. All right. All right. It's a me live part. Yes. That's it. Okay. Okay. And are you? Okay. So I'm live. Oh, okay. So I think maybe the problem why I'm not seeing it is that I am signing and as myself when I am taking. Okay. So no, I see you live. I don't see. Positive Jamaica. No picture. Okay, well, it says I'm okay, good. I'm not. Okay, it says I am. Okay, good. All right. Later, later, later. That's it. Don't you trouble I. All right, they are here. Welcome to YouTube. Cubis, Chop, Finley, and the Cube. Let me pass over here. Good to go. Let me entertain with some music while we wait.
Throw stones, and if you can't take blows, brother, don't throw blows. If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones, and if you can't take blows, sister, don't throw blows. Harm no man, let no
Let
man
no man
harm
harm
you.
you.
Do unto others as they would do to you, and to every forehead respect the Rasta man, cause he's the only man left on creation. And if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. And if you can't take try something, but the world would have crumbled. Call behind thy back, you like to grumble. And before I face, you always a fumble. Yeah. And if you live in a glass house, I beg you don't throw stones. No. And if you can't take those, why don't throw no? Said if you live in a glass house, not throw stones. And if you can't take those, then don't throw no.
Is that your latest iPhone?
Yep.
Didn't you just get a new phone?
Yep. But with Paradise Mobile, I can get a new phone every year.
Well, the Home Office has defended its decision to destroy thousands of immigration documents that recorded arrival date of the Windrush generation migrants and could have proven their right to remain in the UK.
Well, Labour say the revelation that the landing cards were disposed of was truly shocking, and heads must roll at the Home Office over the scandal, which has resulted in people who've lived in the UK for decades being threatened with deportation.
Well, joining us now, we're very honoured to have him, is the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Prime Minister. Thank you very much for coming in. This is a complete and utter disgrace, isn't it? I mean, let's just not sugarcoat this.
It is, especially the new revelation about the destruction of documentary evidence, which could easily help to resolve some of the issues. But I prefer to look at the positive side of it. That
What is the positive side of
the
it?
government reacted and apologized and has put in place or are putting in place measures.
But they don't. I mean, you asked the Prime Minister yesterday, and let's remind the viewers. These documents, a lot of them were destroyed in 2010 when Theresa May was the Home Secretary. Happened on her watch, right? So when she apologizes, that's fine. But actually, she was the catalyst for all this, I'm afraid. Let's cut to the quick. When you asked her yesterday, have people been deported? She didn't know, did she?
Well, they weren't able to provide a definitive answer, but they have undertaken to give that definitive answer. My interest is to ensure that the Windrush generation and the children of the Windrush generation get justice. So we have to call it out for what it is, but we also have to ensure that those who have been deported, that they get access to a process that gets them back, that they get their citizenship, that they get their full rights, and that they get access to the benefits that their citizenship would entitle them.
And should they get full compensation for any legal fees that they...
My view, clearly, I'm not the British government, but my view is that if there is an acceptance that a wrong was done, then there should be a process of restoration. And I'm certain that the very strong and robust civil society and democracy that you have will come up with a process of compensation.
Because people have been sacked.
Yes.
They've lost their right to work as
Yes.
a result, and
Yes.
they cannot claim
Yeah, but
benefits.
then it's a matter of the denial of the dignity of the citizenship, which really cannot be restored when you come to think of it. But yes, I agree totally there.
People who have worked maybe in the NHS here for 30 years
Yes.
and then lose their jobs because they can't prove they're British anymore,
So
and
ironic.
then they can't even claim benefits because they can't prove they're British. I mean,
I was particularly disturbed by the story of a Jamaican man who was unable to access the NHS and had cancer.
Yeah.
And that is what really drew my attention to this.
Were you
this matter.
aware? I mean, were any of the leaders in the Caribbean fully aware of what was going on here in the last few months?
My awareness of it, I can't speak for the rest of the leaders in the Caribbean, but my awareness of it was really within the last 2 months when this story of the Jamaican man who was unable to get treatment for cancer came to light. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper into it. Our high commissioners here in London started to have meetings about it, and the interest in it grew.
The Cabinet Office Minister, David Lidington, had said that there is no evidence that people have been deported. But I wonder, and the Home Office is investigating, obviously, but I wonder if you are also investigating whether people actually have been deported and taken. gone
We
back
can't
to
say,
Jamaica.
we don't have any evidence of that, but we do have cases where there are persons who came to Jamaica, were unable to go back.
Mm.
How
And
many of those cases do you think there
I
are?
don't have the definitive numbers
No.
here, but we have seen cases come up in the media. If we in Jamaica believe strongly against discrimination, the truth is that our history has been one where we as a people have been discriminated against. So the conversation about tolerance, protecting people's rights, particularly human rights, is one that we take seriously. And Jamaica is evolving. 10 years ago, there would have been a much harder line on the issue of homosexuality, particularly from a religious perspective.
Yeah.
But I think that over the last 10 years of conversation, the society is openly discussing the issue, and views are changing. The church in Jamaica does not have a unified position. It is evolving. There is discussion in our parliament now regarding the change to a specific piece of
Would you like
legislation.
personally, as the Prime Minister, to see it decriminalised?
What I would like to see is the process being further
So what I do is I work online and I travel full time, but I don't have an online business. I'm not a freelancer. I don't do stock trading. I don't do any of that. What
Repeat that one.